So you've probably found this video because you're searching for, does a tennis elbow injection hurt? Now, it's very, very common that people used to be offered having a steroid injection for their tennis elbow pain. We now find that people don't advise that so much because the clinical evidence shows that you can increase the reoccurrence rate. So you really want to be doing your research before you go ahead with this. Most consultants will offer you an ultrasound guided, which means that they know exactly where the injection is going to make sure that it doesn't go into the tendon. That can cause a rupture, so we want to avoid that. So the actual site that they do it on is on the common extensor origin. So if you look at your elbow, you'll be able to tell where it is because yours will probably be very sensitive and sore. And it's just as it attaches there onto on the bone. They go around the tendon, not into the tendon itself. And ultrasound guided, what that means is they can look through the ultrasound. So ultrasound is literally an ultrasound wave, so a very, very sort of ultra wave. And what they're going to be doing is they'll put a little bit of jelly on there so that the signal can be seen more clearly, and then they're going to be able to see the metal of the needle, and they'll be able to put it into the right position. But I would strongly recommend that you try conservative treatment. So that means non-invasive treatment, not putting a needle in, not going in for surgery. And really focus on making sure that you're doing those exercises in the right way. So many people come in and say, oh, I've tried everything. And then you talk to them and actually, they've got a bit overwhelmed, a bit confused by Dr. Google. They've tried a few exercises, which has made it worse. So they've stopped, not understanding that you've got to pitch the exercises at the right level to where you are at that moment in time. I've had cases in the past where people have been highly sensitive. For example, I had one lady who had tennis elbow that it presented after she'd been doing lunging with a horse. So she'd been doing sort of a flicking action with the whip behind the horse, and that had brought it on as an acute. So she probably had an issue with the tendon that was underlying, and then that was the trigger, the straw that broke the camel's back, as it were. And for her, because she wasn't able to rest, she wanted to keep working her horse, she wanted to keep doing normal work, so she was using her elbow a lot. It took quite a long time to settle down. She was getting to a stage where she thought, I've got to do something else. Actually, when we were able to do some gentle isometrics, so isometric means just putting pressure against it. So the common extensor origin is here. So to use the muscles on the top, we want to be using those. We're going to apply resistance. So isometric just simply means that we're not moving through range, it stays still, and we're making the resistance with the opposite hand. Once you've achieved that and you can do a significant number of those, then we're going to start moving through the range. Then we're going to look at doing some more kind of plyometric stuff. So that might be some more sort of quick movements, perhaps with a band or throwing and catching a ball, really thinking about proprioception. What we know about lateral epicondylgia, which is the posh name for tennis elbow, is that there can be changes within the brain that cause it as well, which is why sometimes it can switch on both sides, or it can switch from one side to the other. And normally it's in the dominant arm. If you're a tradesperson, or perhaps you've been working at a desk, or perhaps you've just changed your positioning a little bit. I've recently had a baby. I've been working on a laptop while I'm feeding her, and because my hand is in a different position, that can cause it as well. So really looking holistically, and that's the value of seeing someone like a physio, is they're going to be able to look at the taping techniques, look at possibly doing some acupuncture to stimulate the blood circulation around that area. But it's more to do with how the brain is receiving that information. So you're changing the way that the central nervous system is responding to that area if there's any allodynia or increased sensitivity. So I hope that's been helpful. Please subscribe to our channel and make sure you're following us across social media so we can bring you helpful content like this in the future. Take care.